Hey everyone, Mario here. Today I wanted to discuss depression associated with muscle building. Right off the bat, you know that if you've trained before with weights or any sort of resistance training, even isometric training, that it's highly addictive. Like just building muscle is addictive. It's something that feels great and it's normal, even from a hormonal perspective. For men, testosterone levels go up. It just helps you focus. It helps you. It creates a sort of better mood, and it helps with posture. It's, of course, there's countless benefits of muscle building, and kind of side benefits that come out of it. Remaining consistent is the difficult part, and that has to do with things outside of muscle building. It's not that you're discouraged to train and don't have the desire to train. In fact, that's one of the reasons why many people are depressed in their muscle building journey, because life gets in the way, and there's those weeks where you just can't train, and it just allows you to kind of get into a very lowly state. So and that's unfortunate. So that feeling is pretty terrible, and I think it's probably most apparent with people that are on steroids and then get off it. There's been a couple of guys at local gyms in my area that committed suicide, and I think that was probably one of the reasons. Testosterone levels are high, and then they kind of dip, and to obviously unnatural levels both ways. So, the person is constantly changing. Their insides are changing. So, and even with someone that's natural, of course, once again, as I've mentioned many times, I'm 100% natural, never took anything, growth hormones or steroids, and or any sort of performance enhancing drug. But even from a natural perspective, there is hormone kind of hormones that are released, even while working out, and this all affects your entire physiology and even your psychology to an extent. So, for mental health purposes, training is excellent, but what comes with that also is feeling that feeling depleted of almost that sort of energy, that sort of juice, when you're not training or training regularly. So so I would say that's one of them. It's just highly addictive because of the benefits, and then when you get off it, when you stop training, almost like a drug, you kind of get very low and get very down. So that's one of the reasons. I think that's why I would say more than any other reason, meaning consistent can be beneficial to you, because you're just on most of the time. And you see lately I'm seeing a lot of videos by The Rock. This person is just relentless, and I don't want to get into the details of whether or not I think he's natural. You could probably guess my thoughts on that, but either way, you have to admire how relentless this person is. Like, he just keeps going. He keeps associating himself with different products and creating partnerships, and he'll promote one for a year and then move on to the next, and they become multi-million-dollar companies just on his tenacity and his resilience. Like, he just keeps going, and nothing kind of stops him, and that is applied to his training as well. Like, you see that he's always posting a video almost every day of him training hard in the gym, and they seem to be live, they seem to be current and recent. So this person's always in shape. So whether or not he's natural, the point is he's doing this regularly, and he's always on. And of course, a person can't do this forever. Many people have shown that they could do it, but it lasts for maybe 4 or 5 years, and then they just kind of get burnt out, and that's fine. They'll take a break, they'll maybe get fat, and then they'll start up again 3 or 4 years later. So that's those are personal choices, and but I do think that there is a limit to what a person can do in terms of just not stopping. So in any case, you can get what I'm talking about. Just that you try to be consistent, and actually, if you tone it down a notch and not be at the level of The Rock, let's say, in terms of his pushing kind of full force and doing things always at 100%, even if you're at like 90% or like I would say even like 75-80%, I mean, that's extremely good. Like that's pretty you're a high performer in most areas of your life if you could do things at anything above, I'd say, 60%. So sometimes that's all you need to remain consistent for your entire life. I think you've seen guys like Jack LaLanne and I don't know, Jimmy Caruso. I kind of covered him in a video recently. A lot of these old timers, I mean, these guys have stayed in shape their entire life up to the age of 90, even past 90. So how did they do it? Like, how did they, at 75 still be, how were they still muscular? And a lot of those guys were natural. I mean, they never took anything. Those guys started such a long time ago, way before, like, the involvement of steroids in sports and let alone in bodybuilding. So, how did they do it? I mean, I think it's because they were just consistent and probably did things at about 70%. And many of them had families. Many of them now, have grandkids and great grandkids, and seem to be doing okay in their life. They lived a fairly clean life. They don't have, any or, maybe many, but probably don't have any scandals associated with their life. There was no real addictions there, I think. No, aside from probably training, but even the training, it was probably kept to a slightly above normal level. And that's what I would probably urge for you if you're going through a very tough time, trying to understand why you kind of love this sport of muscle building, and yet nobody understands it. Yet there's not much money that can be associated with the sport. It's tough to get your workouts done and still be able to work and still be able to have a side hustle and still be able to have time for your wife and kids and etc. etc. I would say just tone it down a notch. Make your training a priority, but it can be done in the morning or at night. Whatever is best for you. If you want to start your day off right and it makes you feel good, then great. Early morning, 5, 6, 7 in the morning, before work, school. Otherwise, do it late evening. Once if you have kids, once the kids go to bed, do your little workout at home. If you don't feel like going to the gym, or the gym is not an option, like many are experiencing these days, don't make it an excuse. Get just body weight exercises alone will get you to that 50-60%. And I'm not exaggerating. Like I've known guys that just flexed their muscles and were able to get in shape. And of course they would treat it like it was a regular sort of program, like muscle building program. They would, Monday would be like chest biceps, and Tuesday would be like back triceps, and they just continued like so, and they would literally do bodybuilding poses for about like maybe 15 minutes each muscle group. Anyways, like I said, you could do that, or just bodyweight exercises, dips, squats, push-ups, close grip push-ups for triceps, or kind of triangle push-ups for inner chest. What else can you do? Lunges or legs, air squats, but squatting ass to grass, as they say, for working the glutes as well. And even sitting down on a chair and doing, single leg extensions, and contracting the muscles. So kind of combining body weight exercise with a bit of flexing can help. So, and you'd be surprised. I do this many times, and to be honest, right now I'm on my way up. I'm building muscle, and Many of the workouts are like these home workouts that most people would scoff at. They'd almost laugh at it. But to be honest, when you know your body so well, it still works. It still works. And like I said, at 60, 70%, you could still have a life. At 90, 95% and by 90-95%, sorry, maybe I'm not being clear. What I mean is that people tend to just involve, like, everything is about the training, and their workouts will be like 3-hour weight training workouts and then an hour and a half of cardio. I mean, that's like a third of your day, like right there, aside from sleeping at night. So it's something that you need to keep an eye on. So try to save time, try to prep your meals before, get your grocery shopping done once a week or once every 2 weeks. Otherwise, even order your meals already pre-prepared. All of those things help save time and in some cases save money, while supporting local. And aside from that, what can I say? Just keep going. I don't want to keep this video. I don't want to make the video too long. I just wanted to give you guys a kind of heads up to let you know that everybody that is interested in muscle building really has this sort of obsession, and I go through many depressive states. So I would say do your best to just remain consistent. Don't push things too far, too fast. And when the time comes, if you're gonna do a bodybuilding show or something like that, there will be those periods of 2, 3, 4 months that you're gonna just 100% focus on this endeavor, and it's expected and it's normal. You're trying to compete at an elite level, and at that level, really, even at the local level of bodybuilding, I mean, you're in such a small percentage of athletes across every sport in terms of what you will look like and the physique you will develop. And this is why I say bodybuilding really is the hardest sport, harder than any sort of martial arts or any other performance sport that even involves running. I mean, it's just grueling. It's the discipline involved, the 24/7 managing of every aspect of your life and how it's tied to muscle building and bodybuilding. So I get that there's going to be those periods of time where you really need to crack down, but what I'm talking about is just the general desire to build muscle and associating with a healthy lifestyle and a healthy life, and not just consistency, but also like long-term, kind of looking at things in the long term and saying, this is something I always want to do. I want to do this as long as I can until I'm 60, 70, 80. And there are, like I said, there are guys that used to do this the right way and continue to do it, and they're well into their 80s, and they look sometimes better than somebody in their 20s. And it shouldn't be so strange if you try it. You'll see that you could go very, very far by just taking things down a notch, not being so obsessed about it. And sometimes even opening yourself up to bringing people into your life and into your world. Explain to others why you like it, and if they don't understand, doesn't mean you need to shun them and not talk to them. It just means that it's something that's not for them. Change the subject, change the dial, enjoy their company when you're with them, talk about them and their interests, and that could be a good point to end with. You don't need to talk to everybody about what you want to do. I mean, if you see that some people are just very closed off and almost like put you down because of your goals and dreams, let alone regarding muscle building, it's not something you necessarily need to share with others. Use your instincts and try to feel them out and see how they are, and if it's someone close to you, you'll know that what the limits are. So trying to convince everybody of the reasons why you do it and why it's a good choice for, even maybe for them, that's not going to work. You should just share that with people that are at least open-minded, I'd say. So in any case, I wish you all the best, and keep training. Bye. Couldn't find the stop button.